What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Day 264 of the Curse City. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. WTF, Plarium. You're making us kill one of the toughest bosses in Raid Shadow Legends with support champions only. Pretty damn crazy. So I thought I'll be sharing this with you guys just to kind of like give you an idea of what team to use against the Iron Twins Fortress in the Curse City. My strategy so far with these guys was go and kill all the bosses, collect the best loot. That's it. As simple as that. Nothing sophisticated, nothing hidden in the background, you know. Kill the bosses and try to get a few good pieces of gear. Now, when we are talking about the Iron Twins Fortress, I don't have to tell you guys, it's probably one of the hardest content in the game, right? So keep that in mind when you are approaching it, because you can only use HP or support champions. Now, yes, if you have all the legendaries, there's no big deal. You have Brogni, you have Amik, you have Elva, you have quite a few champions to smack this boss and put him to sleep. But if you don't have those legendaries available, it will be a bit more challenging. So I'm going to show you kind of like a different approach in here. I would have loved to have an HP burner in here. That would have been amazing. And I'm not talking about Brogni because, yes, I could have put in Brogni, but I'm talking about a different epic champion that might do a decreased attack and an HP burn. But I don't think we even have something like that. So instead, I actually went with Barret. Now, I never used this champion, okay? The reason why I'm using him now is because he brings decreased attack. Now, it's not the best decreased attack on a 4-turn cooldown. This skill right here doesn't do that much. We're not going to be able to just do stupid raw damage on the boss and gain a massive shield. The A1, again, doesn't really do that much either. The main thing that we want from him is the A3. Every now and then, land a decreased attack. Of course, the problem is that we are a weak affinity against the boss. Then we have Priest Orn. So he is in here to bring some damage. Poison damage, to be more specific, and that's what we're going to try to do. Drop poisons, activate poisons, bring in even more poisons, and at the same time, he is a pretty tanky champion. Demita, she's going to be in here for healing and block damage. Now, the block damage is not perfectly tuned or anything like that. And then, of course, you're going to get the increased duration of buffs and the healing, you know, which is pretty good from Demita. We have Skratch Shaman. She will give us a lot of healing. She will give us revive on that, and mainly a lot of healing. You know, the block debuffs won't really be the most important thing because we are going with a resistance team, but having the block debuffs as well will reduce that 3% chance, you know. And then, of course, we have Oela. I think she's the hardest to be replaced out of this team, honestly, because she brings you the increased resistance, the thermometer, the healing, the decreased speed. And fortunate enough, I have a 5-star blessing on her, so that will help quite a bit as well, you know. But that being said, let's crack on with the run, guys, and then I'll show you the builds on the champions. Probably you can drop some of the resistance that I have on. I feel like I have a bit of an overkill in terms of resistance. I don't think you need that much. So how you've noticed, we got 3%ed on my Skratch Shaman, unfortunately, there, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. As long as he's not constantly going to increase that, we should be fine, you know. I have Oela going first because like this, we're gonna get the buffs up and running. And then we have Demita going second. But judging by the fact that the boss didn't took a turn immediately after Oela, I would assume the boss is at around 200 speed or so. Around there. Maybe even slower than that, to be honest. Because I feel like my slowest champion is around 205, 210. Then, of course, we have Barret with decreased attack. We have poisons from Orn, which are slowly doing a bit of damage. I gotta say it, I have no masteries on none of the champions. I think only Demita might have masteries, but I'm not even sure if she does. The rest have no masteries at all. So having that decreased speed, having all those poisons in, will actually bring me quite a bit of damage. Now, an HP burn would have been nice as well. I'll admit it. You know, an HP burn, it would have been nice to constantly drop it on the boss just to take more damage. But hey, we gotta make it work with what we have available. You know, now if you bring a Brogni, easy peasy lemon squeezy, you're just going to destroy the boss, reflect a bit of damage from the passive, have that massive shield to tank for, and he just brings the HP burn to so many things. You know, like Brogni is going to be absolutely MVP in here. But if you don't have Brogni, how I mentioned, it will be a bit harder. The main key right here, guys, is to have all your team with resistance. As long as the boss doesn't put a mark sign on you, you don't really have to worry so much about the rest of the things that he does. He will damage us pretty damn hard later on. So again, if we have the revive on that, or if something goes wrong by any chance, you just retry it and it's gonna work. You know, like there's no way why that this team will fail. You know, like if you try it once or twice or maybe 3 times, it really depends on your RNG. But this is definitely going to beat it. And the good part is that you only need to beat this boss one time. You don't need to make a farm team out of this because he's pretty slow. We are at what, 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. It's not the most efficient one. That decreased speed on as well, beautiful. Especially now when he is on the second half of his HP, you kind of want to have that decreased speed, and the decreased attack is so important. Thankfully, we cannot activate the passive on him anymore, so he cannot cleanse from here on, which is great because we don't want him to do it. We want to keep that decreased attack on him as much as possible. And with the team that I have, guys, I have so much healing that after he hits us, we recover our HP so quick. And the way the whole team works is that you've seen Skratch Shaman, she has that wonky passive that will basically put fear on her, will put decreased speed. We have the immunity constantly getting increased, which allows us to basically don't get wrecked by her own passive. Sometimes the block damage from Demeter comes in at the right moment as well, because it's literally dropping in when we need it. So to save the team, you know, decrease speed, decrease attack, perfect. And from here on, slowly just put in more debuffs and take the boss down slowly, you know. Honestly, it's not such a bad time either at around 4 minutes with a team like this. Considering that we have no damage, I would have expected it to be a bit more painful. What it really works good in here is having all that healing to literally go back to it, you know, like to go back to full HP is so important. The poisons, the decreased attack coming in nicely in here. We're gonna lose the block damage by the time the boss will take a turn on most of the champions though, because we have the decreased speed. And again, the Brimstone does help to make it faster. It doesn't help to win it, you know, it just makes it faster. So if you have a Brimstone, this will make it faster. If no, you're just gonna have to do this for 2 more minutes extra, basically, because the team doesn't die. The boss will not increase his damage. So it's not something that, okay, the longer you go in the fight, the harder it gets, because that's not the case, you know. So as long as you're safe and sound from here on, there's nothing stopping you, basically. The Brimstone does help to make this run faster. So instead of 5 minutes, probably it will take you 7+ minutes. That would be kind of like the only difference. I feel like in terms of resistance, accuracy, I definitely have a massive overkill on them. There we go. We finally lost one of the champions in here. And then Brimstone just put the boss down. And damn, this is a 6-star Mythical Chaos Sword. Now I'm happy with that. Again, the gear sucks. We got a bunch of 5-star. I don't even know why we have 5-star in the end game, man. It's crazy. Nobody wants 5-star gear from the hardest content in the game. And the problem is that I feel like out of all the bosses that I've killed, I've probably got 4 or 5 pieces that is 6-star. The rest is all 5-star. And that literally sucks out all the fun from this content. Like, if you're gonna do this 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you're gonna be like, F this, you know? But then at the same time, this is an amazing addition. I'm gonna explain that in a different video, you know? But we have Oela with 1.4 million damage, Brimstone, Demeter, Skratch, Barret dealt no damage. They have not. They don't even have War Master. If they would have had War Master, it would have been much better. It would have been much faster. Ornn, again with no masteries, he dealt 856k damage just from poisons. So that shows how good is Ornn in here, you know. So you can even run double Ornn maybe, you know. Just as an idea. But let me just quickly show you the stats on the champions, guys, so you see what we had. But how I mentioned, I definitely think we had an overkill on accuracy and resistance, because we never ever got got a resisted mark or anything like that. If we did, it was just a 3%. So I think it would be safe to aim at 350 resistance, 350 accuracy. Then you can use an increased resistance buff, and you can use a different aura, whatever you guys fancy. I don't even know if this aura is actually working in there, because this is just dungeon, so I don't think her aura will work. But she's built on a speed and a double perception. I do have one of the new merciless supersonic, sorry, and that gives me 20 resistance. I'll take it for one piece, you know, like hell yeah. I love the new gearing system. Hopefully more gear sets like this will be added in the future. Total stats on her, we have 80k HP, 3.5k defense. The blessing helps a lot, of course. Faction Guardians, max Great Hall helps a lot. But if you are in the end game and you are challenging these bosses, you are pretty close to max your Great Hall. Then 416 resistance, 400 accuracy. The next champion will be Ornn, but let me just show you. No masteries on her except these little ones at the top. Ornn, 1 resistance, 1 accuracy, 1 perception. Total stats on Ornn, 70k HP, 3.2k defense, 218 speed, 398 accuracy, 398 resistance, 394 accuracy. So this as well, I feel like was a bit of an overkill. You can lower the resistance and accuracy. I can't really tell you the exact number because it's hard to say it. You don't know when you get RNG'd and when you don't. But you've seen this work perfectly with the stats that I had. No masteries whatsoever on him either. In fact, how I mentioned, only Skytouch Shaman had masteries. The rest didn't. Okay. Then Demita, she's built on a regeneration and a speed set. She has a supersonic set as well. Piece, sorry. 74k HP, 3.1k defense, 251 speed, 400 resistance. So she's a bit easier to build because she doesn't need accuracy like Ornn or Oella. Then we have a Skytouch Shaman. You kind of want to give her a regeneration just in case, but I don't think it's a necessity. I don't think it's a necessity, honestly. And again, you need some speed on her and resistance. 63k HP, 3.1k defense, 241 speed, 435 resistance. Overkill on resistance though. Defense and support, timely intervention as a tier 6. That will actually help when their HP drops below. You want to follow the speed order as well, guys, because like this you will ensure that Skytouch Shaman, she won't basically wreck herself with her own passive. Then we have Barret, the blood-soaked. Perception, speed, and accuracy. Total stats, 63k HP, 3.4k defense, 220 speed, 411 resistance, 379 accuracy. And how you've seen, no masteries on him either. Now, if you would have masteries on these champions, yeah, it will help you a lot to have War Master. That will definitely pinch the boss down much, much faster. And even if you don't have Brimstone, if you have War Master on all of them, it will pretty much be at the same time, you know. It's just such a massive difference if you have that or no. But that was all for this video, guys. Hopefully, if you are stuck at this stage, this gave you some ideas on how to approach it, how to defeat this freaking boss only with HP or support champions. Now, of course, most of the damage dealers that are HP based, they're nothing here, okay? You may notice you don't have access to them. If you have an Ursa guy, if you have, of course, Brockney, if you have Emic, this will be much, much easier. And you can find different replacements. But that was all for the video. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching. And stay tuned for the next video, because tomorrow we will be doing the Sand Devil's Necropolis. And I'm very curious to see how we can tackle these beasts, because this is very, 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 very annoying as a boss. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.